Hello there guys and welcome to this weekend's live stream for the final round of the Season 4-5 IFMC IndyCar Championship. I'm JWF1 and we are here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve for what promises to be a very exciting championship finale. Four men still have a mathematical shout at winning this year's title. They are Simon Pagenaud, Fernando Alonso, Pietro Fittipaldi and JR Hildebrand. Which one of these four men after this weekend will walk away with the IndyCar crown? And, well, hopefully it should be another exciting weekend here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, which will be on the main IFMC calendar in this upcoming season as well. So it should be very interesting to see as well. As you can see, bright and sunny conditions here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. No qualifying bans to report. Just one big news coming away just for today, of course. Well, a couple of news in fact. First one being that Eldorado will be ditching Chevrolet at the end of the season, and after Martini left, they'll be adopting the Honda engines left by them. So Eldorado will be having Honda engines next season. It'll be very interesting to see how they get on with the Japanese manufacturer. And on top of that as well, some big news coming is that Juan Pablo Montoya is not here, of course. Red Rose Racing deciding to sit out the Colombian for this weekend, and in his place is young Mexican Patricio Ward. So Patricio Ward will make his IFMC IndyCar debut this weekend with Red Rose Racing alongside Felix Rosenquist. So hopefully it should be quite an interesting debut for Patricio Ward. Keep an eye out for him. But as mentioned, bright and sunny conditions, no chance of rain. So I think without further ado then guys, let's get to the final qualifying session of the season. Oh, hang on, we've got a bit of a texture glitch again, just like a few weeks ago. So give me a mo. Right, okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Kind of a similar issue like we had in pre-season testing of IFMC back in Season 4. We were at a ref. Quite a weird glitch that is. It's only the third time I've had that now. But anyway, we're here in the pit lane and we're going to go to the end of the pit lane with Tony Kanaan. So we will wait and get the session underway. It is, of course, a 35-minute session. And who is going to take the final pole position of this season and who will win the championship after this weekend. Of course, coming into this as well, it's not just the Drivers' Championship that's up for grabs as well. We also have a small matter for the Teams' Championship as well. It's coming into this weekend. We have Silicon Valley Racing and E-Power going at it for the team's title. Silicon Valley coming into this with a 58-point lead in front of E-Power, so they've got a very big advantage, but you can never say never in this series. Anything could happen in racing, and it usually does. The first man that has come out onto the track is Scott Dixon for Eldorado Indy. Eldorado's last race with Chevrolet Power before switching to Honda next season, and they want to give the Chevy Power a good send-off. They can't win the championship again, but they have got a small chance of getting third in the team's championship, and they'll be hoping to try and grab that if they can. After what has been not a great season for them, it must be said. Clearly worse than last season, but they hope to come back stronger next season. There have been flashes of brilliance along the way, and well, they'll be able to bounce back next season with Honda Power. It's definitely worked out for E-Power, so why not for Eldorado as well. Also on the track, we have Joseph Newgarden finally getting a good result last time out at Watkins Glen, as we've lost the sound for some odd reason. Yeah, finally getting some points on the board. A good result after what has been a tricky season for him. And he'll be looking to bounce back next season if he can with his new team, E-Power. Helio Castroneves out on the track. Also on the track, we have Felix Rosenquist, Marco Andretti, the championship leader, Simon Pagenaud out on track with a good opportunity to win the title. But he's got three men who could stop him from doing that. Will Power out on track, Max Chilton, Robert Wickens, James Hinchcliffe, JR Hildebrand, another championship contender, Ryan Hunter-Ray, Tony Kanaan, and Takuma Sato. Those guys out on track. So only two championship contenders out on the track at the minute, as the other two, Alonso and Fittipaldi, waiting for the next run to do a lap. But Dixon has started a lap now then, as he will now go up towards the left and right hander on the racetrack. Now last season he caused quite a bit of chaos caused a few crashes himself, and ended up getting banned from the pre-season test for the top class. He is still competing in the top class for the upcoming season, except with a new team this time in British Airways Racing, formerly known as Monster Grand Prix, and we're hoping to try and impress them this weekend if he can, as he just makes his way out of that chicane now then, as he'll make his way up towards the hairpin now then. And let's see what the Eldorado driver can do then on his first flying lap, just going out of the hairpin now then, using the curb on the outside line now then, as he'll make his way around this bus stop chicane. They don't go straight like in real life, because this is the old Montreal, the late 80s, early 90s Montreal. As now going around this bus stop chicane we go, heading down towards the final chicane on the racetrack. Let's see what Dixon can do now then. Just missing the wall of champions there. Then you have to get as close to the wall as possible around this track. But Dixon, what's the benchmarker time going to be? It is a 1:22.412. So that's the time everybody's going to beat. Joseph Newgarden across the line he goes, and he goes second behind Dixon. Here's Helio Castroneves in the EMR as he makes his way around the final chicane. EMRs last season, well, the last weekend of having number 1 in their car, they'll be giving that up to either Silicon Valley E-Power or Macamo, as Helio goes into second. Felix Rosenquist slots to 4th. Here is Marco Andretti. Behind him is one of the championship contenders. That'll be Simon Pagenaud, I would think. Andretti crosses the line to go 5th fastest. It's P6 only for Simon Pagenaud. Like Andretti held him up on his lap. Will Power slots to 4th in the Eldorado, so P4 for him. Here comes Max Chilton then, the SIC. Let's see what Max can do. Across the line then goes Max Chilton, and he goes 5th fastest for the moment. It's P7 for Robert Wickens. James Hinchcliffe now then, across the line he will go. What can he manage? And he goes fastest. So in Martini Energia's final race ever in IFMC IndyCar, he goes fastest for the moment. It's 7th for J.R. Hildebrand, one of the championship contenders. 9th for Ryan Hunter-Reay. 9th now for Tony Kanaan. Across the line goes Sato to go 11th fastest, and that's that. So at the moment it is currently James Hinchcliffe that is fastest, with Scott Dixon second, and in third is Helio Castroneves. Hinchcliffe wanted to give Martini Energia in their final race in IFMC IndyCar a very good send-off indeed. Of course, Hinchcliffe and Rahal will have to look elsewhere for drives next season with Martini leaving the series, so good opportunity for teams to try and snap them up if they can, and especially Hinchcliffe, who's done very well this season. It's a shame he's not in the championship fight, because he has been pretty much had the pace to possibly in the championship, but a lot of bad luck has come his way, and that's why he finds himself out of the championship hunt. And I think the maximum he can probably get in the Drivers' Championship is, I think, 3rd, but we'll wait and see on that as they all come back into the pits now then. As here is Takuma Sato, he'll be coming back into the pits very soon. We'll be waiting for another 8 cars to come out onto the track very soon, as Sato makes his way out of the hairpin now then. And now making his way down the hill before approaching the bus stop chicane. Sato now then will be heading back into the pits this time by. Sparks coming off the back of the Fantari car now then, as he'll make his way into the pit lane this time by. So straight on he goes into the pits. Goes Takuma Sato, as Fernando Alonso is now out on track, one of the championship contenders. 11 points back from Simon Pagenaud. If he can take pole today, he'll cut it down to 10 points. So that will be the difference between 1st and 3rd in the race, basically. Alonso can then win the race and hope Pagenaud finishes 3rd to be able to win it on a countback, because Pagenaud hasn't got a victory this season. Let's not forget this, of course. Pagenaud, providing he doesn't win tomorrow, could become the first man in IFMC history, not just IFMC IndyCar, but in IFMC history, to win the championship without taking a win. So it shows how very consistent Simon Pagenaud has been. That's providing he doesn't win tomorrow. He could actually do that, win the championship via not winning. So pretty much proving a message. You don't have to win races to win championships. You just need consistency on your side, and possibly a little bit of luck from others around you. But there's still 3 men that could stop him. One of them is the man we're looking at now, Fernando Alonso. Another one is J.R. Hildebrand, his own teammate, and this man as well, Pietro Fittipaldi, the other championship contender, though he's a little bit back. Like Hildebrand, he's a little bit of an outsider in the championship, as he is, if my memory serves me correct, of course, I think he is around, just trying to think off the top of my head, I think he is around 34 points back from Simon Pagenaud, so he will need a lot of luck on his side if he wants to win it, but he's still got a chance either way, as they've just started their laps. Alexander Rossi out on track. We also have Graham Rahal, Gabby Chavez, Felix Rosenquist, Patricio O'Ward making his debut this weekend in IFMC IndyCar, so welcome to Patricio on the grid, replacing Juan Pablo Montoya for this weekend. Red Rose Racing doing, I think, somewhat similar to what they did last season. I think with one of their drivers bringing in somebody into the last race. Last season they brought Zachary DeMello, trying to think of his name now, Zachary DeMello into the race, but this weekend they've got Patricia O'Ward, Joseph Newgarden back out on the track. We also have Simon Pagenaud, Ed Jones, Max Chilton, Takuma Sato, and Sebastian Bourdais, who'll be handing his #1 status after this weekend. He won the championship here last season, but it's not going to be the same this weekend. Helio Cashinero is also out on track as well. As we look now at Alonso, I don't know if Bourdais might have held him up. He might have just avoided him, but we'll wait and see what his lap is like then on his first flying lap now. Alonso won last time out in Watkins Glen. He would love to win again, but then he'll need something. He'll need to make sure that Pagenaud does not finish second in the race, and if he can take pole, he'd be alright with third, but if he doesn't want him to finish third. He'll need him to finish fourth in the race, as Alonso now then is going to cross the line. What's his lap time going to be? Alonso crosses the line, and he goes fastest. Alonso to the top of the timing sheet. That's exactly what he needed as well. Bourdais starts his lap now then. Here comes Pietro Fittipaldi now then in the Makama car, just heading out of the final chicane. Let's see what Fittipaldi can do then on his lap. Across the line goes the grandson of Emerson. He goes 7th fastest with that lap. Helio Cashinero about to start a lap. Here is Alexander Rossi just making his way out of that bus stop chicane now then, as he'll make his way into the final chicane on the track where the Wall of Champions is located. Out the corner now then, heading down the pit straight. Rossi now then is going to cross the line, and let's see what Alexander Rossi can do, and he goes 4th fastest. A really good time from Rossi there after what's been a tricky season for him. 4th now for Graham Rahal. He won here last season. Would love to give Martini a good send-off as well. 16th only for Gabby Chavez. Not good in trying to help his teammate out if that's the case. Felix Rosenquist now then coming down the pit straight. What can Rosenquist do on his lap? Across the line, and he goes 9th fastest. A P9 for him. Joseph Newgarden on his second flying lap. Let's see what he can do. Currently 7th, and he's way off the pace. He must have made a mistake somewhere as he remains in 7th. Up into 3rd now goes Simon Pagenaud. A big improvement for him, so that's P3 for him. Ed Jones now 14th only for him. P10 for Max Chilton, an improvement from him there. Here comes Takuma Sato now then on the racetrack, and he remains in 17th. No improvement. Sorry if you heard my dog in the background. P6 now for Sebastian Bourdais, so a good lap from him there then, as we'll look at his teammate who's up on his personal best in the middle sector by a 10th now then, and just half of 2/10 I should say. Now coming up towards then the final chicane. Let's see if Cashinero can improve on his final lap. I think he's currently 8th for the moment. He is. Can Cashinero improve on this lap? Across the line then goes Helio Cashinero, and he goes 7th, so he only gains 1 place there. He lost a lot of time there in the last section you just saw there, so he must have lost the time possibly in the last chicane, but it's only P7 then for Helio Cashinero on that lap. So at the moment it is Fernando Alonso that is now fastest, with James Hinchcliffe 2nd, and in 3rd is Simon Pagenaud. If Alonso is able to take pole, and if the results stayed like this tomorrow, then Alonso would win the championship on a countback. So Pagenaud will be hoping that he does not have Alonso on pole for this race. He'll be hoping that somebody knocks him down a little bit, so then he doesn't win it on a countback. And because of course you do get a bonus point for pole position, of course, for anybody new to IFMC IndyCar, and you also get a bonus point for fastest lap as well. And as you can see there, the top 5 is Alonso, Hinchcliffe, Pagenaud, Dixon and Rahal. 2 Martinis in the top 5, and it would possibly be a good send-off for Martini if they were able to keep that up tomorrow, because of course if you don't know and you've only just joined, Martini are leaving the series after this race just to focus on the top class. Especially with the fact that they'll be having Renault power for the upcoming IFMC season when the series moves to V12 engines. As Hildebrand now then we're looking at is on the track, one of the championship contenders. Hildebrand currently, well, down in 14th, so not the best position at the moment, but there could be some more improvement for the American coming soon. It's better than what it was in Watkins Glen when he was on the back row of the grid, and that race at Watkins Glen could have potentially cost him a chance of winning this season's title, as he just makes his way out of the bridge, where there was quite a bit of chaos last season down at that bridge, and it nearly cost Bourdais the championship last time out if he were found guilty of an incident, but he wasn't. It was found out that the driver in question that he made contact with was actually moving under braking, so he he was very lucky he didn't get any sort of penalty for that, otherwise that would have given the championship to Will Power. But there we are really. But Bourdais and Power are not in the championship fight this time around. It's only Pagenaud, Alonso, Fittipaldi and Hildebrand who have a shot at winning the title. We have Patricia Award out on track, Ryan Hunter-Ray, Will Power, James Hinchcliffe, Tony Kanaan, Graham Rahal, Robert Wickens is coming out. We'll be also expecting Marco Andretti, Scott Dixon, Gabby Chavez, Ed Jones, Pietro Fittipaldi, Fernando Alonso to also join these guys. So we'll try and get back now at J.R. Hildebrand. Luckily nobody held him up at the exit of the pit lane there, because the exit is not like how it is today where it comes out of turn 2. Back then it came out just before turn 1. I don't know why they changed it, to be honest with you, but oh well, because it wasn't a dangerous pit lane exit. I honestly don't know why they got rid of it, to be honest with you. As now here comes J.R. Hildebrand, as now they go around the left right hander. I'm not saying that the current pit lane exit we've got now is very cool, because it is very cool indeed. But it's still, I don't know why they got rid of the old pit lane exit, but there we are. There must have been a reason, probably just after a change, who knows. But anyway, J.R. Hildebrand now then is coming down towards the hairpin, and in fact I think in real life as well they're having a new they're rebuilding the pit lane, aren't they? They're rebuilding the buildings at the pit lane, so that should be completed before the race next year. But anyway, here comes J.R. Hildebrand now then, about to finish a lap very soon as he comes around the bus stop chicane. And let's see what he is able to do now then as he'll make his way into the final chicane. Hildebrand then about to finish a lap. And I apologise there for the drop of frames, we haven't had that for a while. But coming down the pit straight then, Hildebrand is about to finish a lap. And he crosses the line and he does improve, but still remains 14th for the moment. Dixon looks like he's going to be holding up cars on his... well, he's holding up Patricia O'Ward at the moment, who remains where he is at the moment, which is 22nd at this stage. In fact, he hasn't even set a time yet. I wonder if he had a problem earlier on, but he got held up there by Dixon, so clearly a wrecked first flying lap for him there in IFMC IndyCar. So something must have happened to him on the first flying lap he had. He must have run into problems and has gone into the T car. Dixon starts lap as Jones has just started one as well. It's 12th for Ryan Hunter-Ray. Alonso just starting another lap now then. 10th for the moment for Will Power, as we now look at Hinchcliffe, who still remains in second. No improvement for the mayor of Hinchtown. Here comes Tony Kanaan now then into the final chicane. Let's see what the Brazilian then is able to do. Across the line goes Tony Kanaan now then. And let's see what he can do. And he goes up to 9th. A big improvement there then for Tony Kanaan. P9 then for the Brazilian. Here comes Graham Rahal, and he does not improve, remaining in 5th place in the process. Robert Wickens into the final chicane. Let's see what the adrenaline driver can do. He's currently down in 20th, and it looks like he could be on for the improvement. Looked like he got held up on his first flying lap, but he crosses the line only to go up to 16th. So a big improvement, but only 16th for Robert Wickens in front of his home fans. It's also James Hinchcliffe's home race as well, so 2 Canadians for the Canadian fans to cheer for. As coming across the line now then comes Scott Dixon, and he doesn't improve, remains 4th. With that lap, Ed Jones remains 18th for the moment. Fernando Alonso now then across the line he will go, and he does not improve, remains on a 122.140. Andretti improves, but only up to 19th, so both adrenalines appearing to struggle at the moment. Fittipaldi down in 15th and remains in 15th, so not a good qualifying decision at the moment for Fittipaldi. That is not what he needs if he wants to win the championship this weekend, really, so not good for him as far as he's concerned. Chavez crosses the line, and it's 12th for him at the moment, so he's outpacing teammate Pietro Fittipaldi to go into 12th place at the moment. So that's that for him. But at the moment it is still Fernando Alonso that is fastest, with James Hinchcliffe in 2nd place, and still in 3rd is Simon Pagenaud. So that's still how the top 3 currently stands at the moment, as Alonso will now make his way into the hairpin. And Alonso now then into the hairpin he will now go, as he now just comes out the turn using the curb on the outside there then. And now coming into the bus stop chicane now then on the track. And as now we come into the final chicane on the racetrack. And Alonso now then back into the pit, still currently fast at the moment. We'll have a recap of what the top 5 currently looks like at this stage, as Alonso makes his way back into the pit lane. And so let's have a look then and see how it looks at the moment. So Alonso fastest, Hinchcliffe 2nd, Pagenaud 3rd, Dixon 4th, and Rahal in 5th position. So that's how that looks at the moment. As now we've got some more cars now then currently out on the track. I don't know if anybody's just started a lap. I'm just double checking. No, they haven't. Rossi, Bourdais and Newgarden are currently out on the track at the minute, as Rossi will now make his way into the bus stop now then, the right, left, right chicane. So Rossi will go into these corners now then, through the corners he goes, as he will now make his way into the final chicane on the racetrack, through the final chicane, as he makes his way down the straight. And Rossi now then is going to cross the line as he starts his lap now then, heading into the first corners. There's a few more cars I think you just saw on the right there that were just about to come out onto the track, as Rossi makes his way out of turn 2 now then, as Ryan Hunter-Reay in front of him has just gone out on the track. Luckily for Rossi, he's not going to hold him up on his flying lap. Through the chicane then goes Rossi, as he will now make his way around through these section of corners now on the track. Through the left and right handed we go, as they just make their way around these corners, coming off the turn, heading down towards the right left chicane, which is just after a bridge. And now into the corner we go, through the right and then into the left hander we will go, and now into what is going to be the hairpin. And we saw quite a few overtakes here last season as well. I wonder if we're going to see that this season as well, especially Will Power, who made a very Ed Jones made quite an impressive move here last season. Power did an impressive move on Bourdais with the remaining few laps, but it was still not enough for him to win the title and become the first man himself to win the championship without taking a win. Pagenaud's turn now to try and do that feat, and he's got the advantage with an 11-point advantage over Alonso. But if it stays like this in the moment in qualifying with Alonso on pole, it'll be down to 10 points. So that'll be that really. So if it stood like that tomorrow as well, with Alonso still being on pole as Rossi's crossing the line and he remains in 8th, no improvement for him. But if it stayed like that tomorrow, Alonso will win the championship on a countback of wins, as Bourdais now then crosses the line and he remains in 6th, no improvement, as Pagenaud, speaking of which, is about to start his lap. Here is Joseph Newgarden then coming out of the final chicane, and Newgarden now then is about to finish his lap. Across the line he will go, and can he improve? He cannot. He remains in the cusp of the top 10, which is 10th place of course, as Power, Rosenquist and Hinchcliffe are about to start lap. Here's J.R. Hildebrand, one of the championship contenders. He's all the way down in 18th. He desperately needs to improve on his lap if he can. Heading into the right, left, right chicane on the racetrack. Let's see what J.R. Hildebrand can do now then, as he makes his way around through the chicane. And now into the final chicane, which is where the Wall of Champions is located. Into the chicane we go then, through the right and left, as he goes down the straight. And Hildebrand now then is going to cross the line. Let's see what he can do. Can he improve? And no, he can't. Remains 18th, so that's not good for him if he wants to win the championship. Still 7th for Castro Neves, no improvement for him. Tony Kanaan goes up to 3rd, a really impressive time there, and he pushes Pagenaud down to 4th. And obviously E-Power will be happy with that one as well, as an improvement for Sato, but he's still in 21st, no improvement in terms of position, as 13th is an improvement for Hunter-Reay, but it could have been a bit more had it not been for the hold-up from Robert Wickens. Here is Max Chilton, across the line he will go. Can he improve? No, he can't, remains 14th with that lap. Simon Pagenaud now then into the final chicane. And let's see what he can do. He crashes it into the Wall of Champions. That's the first time somebody has crashed it into the Wall of Champions. Pagenaud has smacked it into the wall, pushing a bit too hard, probably realising that somebody pushed him down to 4th. Is the pressure getting to Simon Pagenaud this weekend? A crash at the Wall of Champions. And, well, he's lucky that it's qualifying and not the race, because that could have been a disaster for Silicon Valley Racing. That's the first time in IFMC history that somebody has banged it into the Wall of Champions. As, well, that's that really. Still 11th for Power, still 15th for Rosenquist. No improvement from those two indeed, as Andretti now comes out on the track. So Pagenaud will have to get into the spare car if he wants to continue for the remaining of the session. It's still 2nd for James Hinchcliffe. He's got one more flying lap before he's done for the day. And well, E-Power putting a lot of pressure on Simon Pagenaud at the moment to try and improve. As here is Robert Wickens coming around the final chicane, as that was Ryan Hunter-Reay just coming into the pits, Alonso's teammate. Coming down the straight now then, let's see what Robert Wickens can do, as he will now cross the line and he goes up to 10th, so he gets his car to the top 10. A big improvement for Wickens, finally getting some pace around his home track. So P10 for him. Alonso going back onto the track, As now, as you can see, there are a few more cars actually that have gone out. As we mentioned, Marco Andretti had gone out earlier. Fernando Alonso has also gone out onto the track as well. As now into the hairpin there then goes Marco Andretti. And well, that's that really as far as he's concerned, as he's preparing to start his next flying lap, as we have just under 13 minutes to go in this qualifying session to determine the grid for the final race of the season of IFMC IndyCar of Season 4-5 here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. As round the final chicane now then goes Marco Andretti. As he just goes out of the corner now then, heading down the pit straight. As now you go into the first corner, you'll be hoping that Makamo on the left of him doesn't impede him, which he doesn't, but he might have the other Makamo in front holding him up, and they'll be hoping that is not the case as he comes out of turn 2 now then. And now into these next few corners, there's a few more cars out in front of him, but luckily for Andretti, they're not holding him up at the moment. He just misses the curb on the outside there. Around this long swooping right-hander he go, as he will now go into the left-right chicane before approaching the bridge very soon. This little run before going into the bridge, which is now a DRS straight in Formula 1. As now Andretti now then going towards the right-left chicane. We're right on board with Marco now then, as he just flicks the car in through the chicane and pushing very hard to try and improve on his current lap at the moment. Into the hairpin he will now go, and let's see what Marco Andretti can do. As he will now just come off the turn, and now into the right chicane he will now go, and let's see if Andretti can improve on his lap now then, as they'll make their way into the final chicane. So through the right and the left, and coming down the straight now then we go. Marco Andretti is about to power across the line. Can he improve on his lap? And no, he can't. Remains 20th, way off the pace of teammate Robert Wickens. As we now try and go back to Fernando Alonso. He's on the lap. Here he is. He's just come out of the hairpin now then, heading into the final chicane. And just over 10 minutes now left in the session. Alonso round the bus stop chicane now then he will go. And now into the final chicane. Let's see what Alonso can do as he makes his way around the final chicane, heading down the pit straight. And Alonso now then is about to power across the line. Can Alonso improve on his 1 minute 22.1? And no, he can't. Remains on a 1 minute 22.140 in this session, as Ryan Hunter-Reay's teammates just come out on the track. Bourdais and Newgarden about to start laps. Scott Dixon now then in 5th. Can he improve across the line? He will go, and he goes fastest. He beats Alonso to the top. That's exactly what Silicon Valley needed. Dixon to the top of the timing sheet. A really good lap there from the Kiwi, and it's now Dixon the man to beat in this qualifying session. Dixon to the top of the timing sheets. We now look at James Hinchcliffe. I think this is his. No, it isn't. It's Graham Rahal. I do apologise. Got the helmets mixed up. Don't know how I got the helmets mixed up there. Rahal coming around the final chicane, and let's see what he's able to do as he'll come down the pit straight and across the line. He will now go. Can Rahal improve on his lap? And he can. He goes up to 5th. So it's P5 now for Graham Rahal. He pushes Pagenaud down to 6th. So whilst it was all looking good, it's now bad news for Pagenaud. Up into 7th goes Gabby Chavez. A big improvement for him. Still 17th for Fittipaldi. He's struggling. An improvement for Jones, but he's all the way down in 18th. He's struggling. Still last for Patricio O'Ward in his first IFMC IndyCar weekend, but an improvement for him nonetheless, as Cashin Evans is about to start a lap. Here is Alexander Rossi, currently 10th for the minute. And can he improve on his lap now then? Across the line he will go. And he does. He goes up to 4th. That pushes Pagenaud down to 7th. As Rossi now up into 4th place. A big improvement for him there. A lot of drivers starting to improve now on their lap. Sebastian Bourdais now then, the man who won the championship here last season. He's about to come across the line. What can he do? And he goes 6th fastest. That pushes Pagenaud down to 8th. Pagenaud losing a lot of places. The pressure must be getting to him now. Up into 12th, and his final flying lap goes Joseph Newgarden. So not a good qualifying session for him, but an improvement nonetheless. Hildebrand down on his personal best in the middle sector, and this is his final flying lap as well. He's down in 19th. This is not going to help him if he wants to win the championship tomorrow. Round the final chicane now, they're heading down the pit straight comes J.R. Hildebrand. Can he find some time in the last sector? Hildebrand across the line he will go, and no, he can't. A lot of work for Hildebrand to do tomorrow. He starts in 19th, so one of the championship contenders all the way down at the back of the field, and that could be the case for Fittipaldi if he's not able to get his foot down in his final flying lap. That could be coming up very soon, but Hildebrand with a big task to do if he wants to win the title tomorrow. Cashineves now then, out of the final chicane. Let's see what Helio Cashineves can do. He's currently 10th. Can he improve on his final flying lap? And no, he can't. Remains 10th with that lap there then. And there is Pagenaud. He'll be about to come out soon in the spare car after crashing out at the Wall of Champions a little earlier. So the pressure probably on now for Pagenaud to try and get in a position where it's going to ease the pain of Alonso trying to snatch the title from him in the final race this weekend. Ryan Hunter-Reay just coming out in the final corner very quickly indeed. Hunter-Reay is going to cross the line and he goes 6th. So that pushes Pagenaud down another place to 9th place. Ryan Hunter-Reay now helping his teammate out a little more to go up into 6th place. So a big improvement there then from Ryan Hunter-Reay as Hildebrand's coming back into the pits. This time by Max Chilton has just gone out on the track. Anybody else now then on a lap? It doesn't appear like it, so we're going to go to Max Chilton. And he'll be joined by a few more cars, I would suspect, in a little bit as well. As Chilton now then heads into the final chicane. And now into the final chicane now then goes Chilton. As he will now come down the straight. And Chilton about to start a lap now then. There's a few more cars about to come out on the track. Luckily for Chilton, none of them are going to impede him now then as he makes his way into the first 2 corners on the racetrack. As now coming off the turn now then, heading down the straight as he will now approach the right-left chicane. So coming off the turn now then, it's now Max Chilton into the right and left. The left and right chicane. There's loads of chicanes here at the Ile Notre Dame, so should be quite a lot of overtaking opportunities, I would suspect, in this finale. As now Chilton will approach the right-left chicane, coming off the turn, as he will now make his way into the hairpin. And let's see if Chilton can improve then upon his 15th place. And coming off the turn using a lot of curb on the outside there then. As now Chilton will come up now then towards the bus stop chicane, round the right, then the left, and then into the right-hander again. Will go Chilton. As now up towards the final chicane on the track then. Chilton through the right, then the left. Coming off the turn now then, and can Chilton improve on his 15th place? Max Chilton is going to cross the line. Can he improve? And no, he can't. Remains 15th with that lap on his far-flying lap, so a bit of work to do for him tomorrow. Rosenquist and Andretti and Wickens and Fittipaldi and Alonso and Dixon are about to start the laps in a little bit. Pagenaud down on his personal best in the middle sector. He needs to try and find some time in the last sector if he can, if he wants to. In fact, that was the first sector. I do apologise. The middle sector is coming up now, I think. So Pagenaud really needs to find some time in these last 2 sectors if he wants to try and improve on that 9th place. The pressure really on for him now after crashing out a little bit earlier, probably costing him a lap in the process. As now Pagenaud now they round the bus stop chicane into the final chicane now then he will go, as we have just under 5 minutes to go in this qualifying session to determine the grid for the final race of the season. Pagenaud out of the final chicane now then, this time doesn't smash it into the wall. Pagenaud now then, across the line he goes. Can he improve on his 9th place? And no, he can't. He'll probably have one more lap, but that's it really. In fact, probably not, but we'll wait and see. It could be one more lap for Pagenaud. We'll have to wait and see how that one will work out. But Pagenaud is, Pagenaud's still down in 9th place. Now Dixon has smashed it into the wall. On his next flying lap, the current pole sitter has now smashed it into the wall at the chicane, and that's the 2nd crash we've seen today here in qualifying. I think that's the 3rd crash, actually, if I think of it. That's probably what happened to Patricio O'Ward and why he lost the first flying lap earlier on. But Dixon will have to go into the T car if he wants to do another lap, unless he's run out of laps. That's cost Hinchcliffe anything. Well, he's finished his lap anyway. He's in 4th now at the moment. Still 16th for Power, so he's got a lot of work to do for tomorrow. 2nd now for Felix Rosenquist, who pushes Alonso off the front row, and that pushes Pagenaud, I think, down to 10th. So more positions lost then for Simon Pagenaud, as it's now P2 for Felix Rosenquist, 13th for Andretti, 9th for Graham Rahal, I would think, 14th for Robert Wickens at this stage. Here comes Pietro Fittipaldi, and he goes up to 5th. He pushes Pagenaud outside the top 10. So a much needed improvement there for Fittipaldi as he gets up into 5th place. A big improvement there indeed. Alonso does not improve on his final flying lap and remains in 3rd, but I don't think he really matters knowing where Pagenaud is on the grid at this stage as Jones starts his final flying lap at the moment as Gabby Chavez is coming out on the track as well. Just over 3 minutes to go in this session. O'Ward about to come out very soon as well as you can see, Graham Rahal currently on the lap now, then currently in 10th and could push Pagenaud a bit more. In fact, I think he's in front of Pagenaud at the moment, obviously, so Pagenaud down in 11th place, I would suspect. As we'll try and have a look and see if we can try and find him somewhere with the cars in the pit lane. Well, where he is at the moment? Well, we'll check in a bit because Rahal's about to cross the line in a bit. Rahal across the line he will go. And can he improve? No, he can't. Remains in 10th place with that lap as he makes his way into the first 2 corners now they're on the track. Here is Ed Jones on his final flying lap, currently down in 19th place now then as he'll make his way into the bus stop chicane. And now through these corners now then will go Jones as he makes his way down the straight heading into the bus stop into the final chicane. Now then goes Jones, and let's see what he is able to do. Ed Jones now then is going to cross the line, and can he improve on his lap? Across the line he goes, and no he can't. Remains 19th. Disappointing qualifying session for the Emirates driver. Chavez just starting a lap now then, as will Patricio O'Ward, as will Alexander Rossi and Sebastian Bourdais. In fact, we'll have a look now then at Chavez, and I think there'll be another car possibly coming out on the track in a little bit. So Gabby Chavez now then into the first 2 corners on the track, just under 1 3/4 minutes to go in this session. Chavez coming out of turn 2 now then, heading into the right left chicane, and now into the corners now then he will go as now around the right hander now then goes Gabby Chavez as he will now make his way into the left right chicane, and now heading down the straight as now as you can see now then as Chavez now then goes into the right left chicane just after the bridge. As mentioned, quite a lot of chicanes around this track now then, and I'm guessing we've got under a minute left in the session. No, just over, but we're getting there now. Gabby Chavez into the hairpin now then he will go, and let's see what the young Colombian can do as he makes his way out of the turn, heading down towards the right left right chicane, and through the chicane now then he goes. And so he comes out of the turn heading into the final chicane. Let's see what Gabby Chavez can do. Round the right, then the left, and then heading down the pit straight. Can he improve on his 12th place now? Then Chavez is going to cross the line. And can he improve? No, he can't. It means 12th with that lap now. Then here's Patricio O'Ward on his final flying lap. Currently last at the moment, but remember he is inexperienced, so I'm guessing we shouldn't expect too much from the young Mexican at this stage. Into the quick left right chicane, and let's see what Patricio O'Ward can do on his final flying lap. Sparks coming off the back of his car now then into the final chicane, heading down the pit straight and across the line now then goes Patricio O'Ward. Can he improve on his lap? And no, he can't. It's last place start for him, but he will hopefully try and find some positives in his first qualifying session. The checker flag is out. The session has come to a close. The driver's currently out there at the moment, just finishing off their final flying laps, including this man, Alexander Rossi, who's currently 6th for the moment. He looks like he's up on his personal best in the middle sector from the looks of things. So let's see if he can keep that up into the last sector now then. Into the final 2 turns then goes Alexander Rossi as he will now come down the pit straight. And Rossi now then is going to cross the line. And is he going to improve on his 6th place? Across the line he goes, and he doesn't. Lost time in the last sector and remains in 6th. And it's still 9th for Sebastian Bourdais. So quite a lot of work to do to him. And I think that's going to do it. There you go then. So as a result of that, it is Scott Dixon who takes pole position for tomorrow's race here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. A very impressive qualifying session for Dixon. It's pole position for the Kiwi. And he is only 800ths quicker than Felix Rosenqvist, who gets into 2nd. Very impressive stuff from the young Swede. So there you have it then, guys. After all of that, here is the grid for tomorrow's race here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Scott Dixon is on pole position with Felix Rosenqvist 2nd, Fernando Alonso in 3rd, James Hinchcliffe 4th, Pietro Fittipaldi in 5th, Alexander Rossi 6th, Tony Kanaan 7th, with Ryan Hunter-Reay in 8th, and then it is Sebastian Bourdais 9th, Graham Rahal in 10th, Simon Pagenaud, a lot of work to do for him in 11th, with Gabby Chavez 12th, Helio Castroneves in 13th, with Marco Andretti in 14th position. And if you scroll down the rest of the field, it is Robert Wickens 15th, Joseph Newgarden 16th, Will Power in 17th, Max Chilton 18th, Ed Jones 19th, J.R. Hildebrand, a lot of work to do for him in 20th, with Takuma Sato 21st, and Patricia O'Ward in 22nd position. So there you have it then, guys. That is the grid for tomorrow's race here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. I hope you've enjoyed it. A very interesting qualifying session indeed, and I can tell you, barring the fastest laps as well, if it stood like, if it included the fastest laps, I should say, if it stays like this tomorrow, if the grid stayed in this order tomorrow for the race, then Alonso would win the championship, taking it off Simon Pagenaud, with Pagenaud being down at 11th. Pagenaud needs to get up to, well, let's just think, Alonso is in 3rd. He needs to get up to at least 5th in tomorrow's race if Alonso were to stay in 3rd in order to win the championship by 1 point. Providing also that Alonso does not get the fastest lap either. If Alonso gets the fastest lap as well, he will take the title. If not, Pagenaud will take it, providing he finishes 5th. So there you have it then, guys. That has been it. I hope you enjoyed it. So thank you very much for watching. I've been JWF1. We will see you then, guys, tomorrow at the same time of 1 PM BST for the final race of the season. Who will win the title? Would it be Simon Pagenaud, Fernando Alonso, Pietro Fittipaldi, or J.R. Hildebrand? Leave your thoughts, but until then, guys, that has been it. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. I've been JWF1, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the championship finale. Till then, take care.